Forbes India presents M Connect, powered by Marmo Solution.
Welcome to M Connect, celebrating architectural excellence and innovation. This is a series where we bring you fascinating insights from well-known architects. The theme for today is designing doubt. While many shy away from fear and failure, for some in the world of design, these could be considered more a spark than an obstacle. Because creative journeys are not just shaped by what works, but also by what doesn't. Joining us today are three incredible voices. Ashmit S, Alag, the principal architect at Transform Design, which is a studio born in New Delhi but touching the skylines of Singapore and Chicago. We also have Archna Agarwal. She's the principal architect at Archna Agarwal Studio. Archna believes in designing holistic environments that connect people with nature. And finally, we have Anand Bhagat. He's the founder of Metaphors. Anand is known for his innovative approach to architecture, interior design, and urban planning. A warm welcome to all of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ashmit, first we'll begin with you. Tell us a little more about your work and if you've ever had such big doubt about your design that you almost didn't submit it.
Well, I think all great designs are a matter of a lot of doubt. And this is where my father steps in, and he says that the easiest way to have a great idea is to have lots of ideas. So when in a doubtful position, create all the possibilities, what can be, and then you skim through, you edit whatever is unnecessary. Almost it's like a sculpting process. You land up with a stone and you keep sculpting it till the time you're only left with perfection.
So basically, doubt is a part of design. Is that what you're saying?
Necessarily. I think if a designer doesn't have a doubt, then it can easily step into egotism. And then it can sometimes become on the boundary of being an artist, where you create for yourself rather than for the means that is given to you. And that also becomes a fundamental difference between art and design. And art is more inwards, while design is all towards functionality and going outside to submit something.
Right. Archana, would you agree?
Yeah, that's right. Doubt is very important for us. Otherwise, we can't create and we can't be innovative always. If we are sticking to certain ideas, we might end up with some few things. So it's really important.
Anand, I'm sure you
Absolutely.
concur.
I think doubts creates new boundaries. I mean, we kind of expand our boundaries to clear our doubts. It's a very important part for any artist, for any creative person. I think doubts are important. Though it sounds very, I mean, the word sounds very negative, but it's not negative. It really pushes our boundary.
It's
It
like
helps
part
us.
of the process.
It definitely helps us.
Right. Archana, I want to ask you, has there been any project which felt like a failure? You almost wanted to give up, but then you learned a lot from it.
Failure in terms of project, I have been through one experience. It's very important for me. And it's almost changed me. And it's one of my project. It was on the verge of completion. And clients started abusing, and he felt he's trying to say, I did this wrong, I did that wrong, and certain things. And at that time, I practically froze. I was literally frozen on site itself, and I couldn't climb down. It's difficult for me to walk. And that time, I was in doubt. Did I really did wrong? It's something which is not right. And I didn't know what to do. And when I came back, and I was like total frozen shoulders and my frozen knees. And I was like going doctors to doctors, what to do and not to do. And by chance, I started meditation at that time only. I went there and I met my guru and I told him, this is what happened with me. And he simply asked one question, why you are working? For money? Or you like it also? I like it. He said, then what is the problem? Whatever you have done, have you given the 100%? I said, yes, I have given my 100%. Are you sure? Yes. Then why you want a validation? Are you waiting for a validation? You are waiting for someone to applaud? You did right? or you should be happy on your own. And that day, I decided I'll never ever look for validation. I'll just do whatever is right for me, whatever is right for the project, and I'm done with it. And I think today I am because of this. This made me who I am. I do whatever I feel right, and 90% I'm right.
Archna, thank you so much for sharing that, because I'm sure a lot of young architects can take inspiration from that experience of yours. Anand, have there been situations where clients have doubted your vision also, and how have you kind of dealt with that?
They do. In fact, before I start, I should congratulate and hats off to Archana, because this kind of situations, they keep coming. We all have to deal with it. Initially, clients do take you for this ride, and it's difficult. But yeah, that makes you. And I think Archana is sitting there only because of that situation. She's a strong lady now. Clients do doubt your this. Initially, they doubt a lot when you're practicing, when they want to give you a project. And sometimes when you become slightly older, slightly mature, then the doubting becomes lesser. And in fact, you become very assertive and this. So one of the examples is, I was sitting in this boardroom where 15 engineers and a land developer wanted to design a resort and a club. And he wanted me to do interior designing at that time. And then I was sitting in this boardroom, and this screen was displayed, and beautiful architecture, whatever they've done an in-house thing. And somehow I felt, and while showing that slide, they showed a hill around it, and they cut the hill. And I kind of looked at the developer and said, "This is not done, boss. This is not going. Whatever you're doing, it's beautiful, but doesn't go well with the thing." And then he doubted why you were saying all this thing, because they already invested time, they already invested money, and the engineers, the architects were not happy with my comment. They gave me 3 days to work on it. In those 3 days, we gave them multiple options, which they rejected plainly because they were not ready to change the architecture. Finally, one more chance, and a client was happy enough to give me one more chance. I went there to the site and I designed something which everybody liked. Eventually, it was a joint, these people who were obstructing my designs were very happy to do this. So clients do have doubts, but it's up to you how to change their doubts. And then after you change their doubts, it's a beautiful this. When finally that structure is a landmark structure, and he got a lot of benefits out of it. So yes, in fact, clients do doubt, and that doubt really raises your bar to do something different.
Right. Thank you for sharing that, Anand. Ashmit, tell me, from doubt to fear, does fear also come into play in your field of work?
Yeah, whenever you want to do something which is completely out of the box or not seen before, that's a fearful position to be in. I'd iterate. I had a professor once in college, and he said, whenever you have a great idea, like a phenomenal idea, and you think it's the uniquest idea, there are two possibilities. One, that truly could be a phenomenal idea, never has anybody thought about it, or it could be such a disaster idea that it has happened in the past, failed so miserably, it didn't even leave any history. So that happens quite a bit. But the point is to push the envelope. For us, why would clients engage us? They would engage us only when they need something which is unseen, be it from the servingware or the interior spaces or architecture. In fact, not only that, we also toy around with the ideas of how the service is to be conducted in the house, including the staff uniforms if it has to be, or how do you actually keep a glass of water, or how would you offer a biscuit. So it has to go into that domain. Now, when I started doing that as part of the design practice, that was very scary. Are you going to offend somebody? But the way people started taking it, and if I would go to their homes, they would talk that not only they but other relatives are doing the same thing. That gives you encouragement, and that becomes the power to be able to push the envelope the next time as well.
Right. So
yes.
living and learning, right?
Absolutely.
Like you live and you learn.
Yeah.
Right. Archana, have you ever made a compromise on any project, and do you still think about it?
Whenever I did the compromise, it's most of the time, it's more to be done for a very known person. Maybe you can say more for a family or more for a friend, and where you don't want to hurt them. Then you have to actually accept the not the right person, not the right material to handle with it. And then you have to say, wow, what a job he did. Maybe it's a shitty job. So it happens, yes. And till now, sometimes it happens.
And does it play on your mind that why did
Every
I have to
time,
compromise?
every time I look at it up and I see why I did it. And still, I can't help it.
So some compromises have to be made.
Yes,
Like in every other profession, I would assume.
I think so. Yeah.
Anand, is there something about architecture that still intimidates you? It could be the process, the design, the clients, the riffraff, anything.
Yeah, I mean, we all start like that. I mean, initially when I started my practice, everything intimidated me. My friends, my colleagues, clients, budgets, timelines, coming up with some new designs. It was a difficult task, but once you start working on that, I mean, intimidation is a very difficult thing. So I'll tell you what will intimidate me now would be since like we work on different kinds of projects. So whenever you get new project, you feel intimidated. But we are lucky enough to work on different kinds, like from stadium to temples to this. So new projects will not intimidate me unless somebody asks me to design a shoe, or somebody asks me to design something like a moving building, or somebody asks me to design something on the moon. So yeah, that would intimidate me. But now one thing which is intimidating me now, because I'm designing my own building, which really plays a very different role. When you're designing for yourself, it becomes very difficult. And then people, younger generation who will be working there, and there's 70 of those, and making them work, a new generation, is kind of quite an intimidating task. I mean, it's a difficult task. I can deal with every problem, but a newer generation, how to make them work?
Newer generation, please work hard.
No, they have a very different way of working. I think they have very different philosophies. Probably we are outdated. We imagine something, but they are not that. So whatever dreams we have to carry them with us. So that would be an intimidating task for me at this moment. And I'm dealing with it, actually.
Okay, I would love to ask you more, but your employees watching may not really like that. Ashmit?
I think the fight is between knowledge and wisdom. You know, when we have knowledge, we don't consider wisdom much. But when we get wisdom, we now land up knowing that it's relatively easy to get knowledge. I mean, I can excuse myself for 1 minute, watch a video on open heart surgery and come and talk about it. I know about it, but do I know it? It's a fundamental difference.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I think internet is doing that. You know, rather than people buying books and absorbing themselves for 15 minutes on a single project, you see the best aspects of a particular project, which might not be the rest of it. You know, we ourselves have to take 10 pictures and then we decide one picture which will go as our DP on our WhatsApp, right? Things don't look really the way they do. And that's where the complexity is.
Absolutely.
The lack of learning, the lack of visiting libraries.
Right. Ashmit, you mentioned you've had quite a journey also of how you got into architecture. Is there still something that intimidates you?
Minimalism intimidates me. I mean, see, I'm not even able to speak the word. I believe life is all about fullness, you know, and have maximum of everything. Isn't that the luxury of life, rather than just removing and eliminating things? So that kind of scares me, because a project like that, I believe, lands up being very sterile and cold. It's good for a photo shoot, not very good for life. So yeah, that kind of scares me a little bit.
I would totally agree with Ashmit on that.
Yeah, minimalism.
Minimalism for me, because probably we
That's a very
deal
woke
with a
term,
different
right? Like
this.
everyone talks about minimalism, but
Yeah,
it's interesting to know that.
I have a very lengthy this on that. We'll have to probably take another thing for that, because there's always a fight between minimalism and things what we do. I mean, there's a lot of warmth and a lot of character in what we do. So fair enough. We should keep it for some another.
Though I add, you know, minimalism is all about refinement and being left with perfection. Minimalism is usually confused with minimum, which is just about having less. Less is never okay.
Less is never okay.
No, it's never okay. We didn't do all of this to achieve less, yeah? None of it.
Absolutely.
I don't
Archana,
know.
actually, I want to continuing that thought. Have you ever looked back at a project and cringed, not because you did something wrong or because it failed, but because probably you have evolved? Maybe you could have thought that less is okay, but now you don't think so.
Yes, yes.
Please
And I
share.
think whenever I look back and I see my, if I even start with my college work now, when I did that work, I was like, wow, that's the design. I made it. And I'm like totally gaga about it. And गलती से मेरे सामने आ गया and I like, this is what I did. और उसने मुझे पास कर दिया. It's, yeah, it's a fact. And similarly, if I go back and see my work, sometimes I feel why I did it. Well, I would say it's like too much of everything. If clients say, I want this, I'll try to please him. Give him. And then another one says, give me this. I'll say, fine, have it. And it became a point I have to ask, should I put lights in your dresses also? Well, it's like flooring with light, ceiling with light, wall with light, everything is with light. Only dresses are left, I think.
But does it then become very important to manage client expectations also? Because if you're doing something that your heart is not in, it's a very difficult situation to be in.
Now it's very easy. Because now I work for myself and I work for project.
Kudos.
So now it's fine. Now I do what is required and the amount it's needed and done with it. Now I own my project. It's my project. Simple. And that's it.
Same goes for you, Anand?
Absolutely. And after so many years of practice, you do go through these mistakes. And I feel everybody has to go through this to arrive at what you like and what is important and what is necessary. That's, I think Ashmit said, use the word wisdom. And that is what is wisdom all about. And yeah, even if you look at your pictures, I mean, my picture 15 years back and 20 years back, you think what I was doing then.
Right.
So probably a fatter version or bigger version. So you come to a conclusion, you basically, I mean, you know now the finer points and client starts respecting that. After so many years, like all other professions, when you arrive at a level, so our profession probably starts at 40, 45 and people start respecting with your wisdom, with your experience. And that is when you can be very assertive and you can say that, okay, this is what I want and this is what is needed.
Right. Do you also believe that friction, be it with your own team or with clients, can have a positive effect also on your work?
Always. With the team, yes. With the client, it depends on how you manage that later on. But no, there are some bad experiences when it comes to client. Friction with client is not a good idea because it shows during the pay scale. It shows you on your check. But friction with your staff is a very important, with your colleagues. So I'm blessed with a core team member. Like we have 5 people working with us for last 21 years, 22 years. So friction is necessary. And we have different ideas, different views on designs. Some people are more about utility, some people are more about aesthetics. So friction is important, but it always brings out something good from the discussion. I think it's necessary.
Right. So before I let you all go, Ashmit, your message to the viewers today, also for young architects watching, designing doubt, why is it okay to have it?
Doubt makes you evolve. Doubt makes you question. Doubt makes you push things in different domains. Doubt also makes you recipient to other people's opinion. End of the day, I believe, the fundamental difference again between a designer and an artist is outward versus inward. Design is always problem solving, and that's why it becomes very scientific. And that's how it's easy to teach design. It's very difficult to teach art. It's probably impossible to teach art. You can only talk perception of art, as a subject. And if we have doubt, it allows us certainly to open up. It opens doors for communication, and the project becomes better. And while also adding to the friction, what's the point of hiring the best people in an organization who are only going to listen to you?
Absolutely.
So, for students, I would very strongly recommend to go to the libraries, not on the internet. And internet isn't, unfortunately, while it's extremely informative, and I'll give an example. When we came from our home or office to this place, we must have seen at least a few hundred billboards, posters, if not thousands. How many do we remember? 1, maybe none. But if you went to a place 10 days ago, you opened the door, you would remember it. That's what books does, because there are multiple senses involved. There's motor skills, there's vision. Sometimes when we're reading, it's also the oral sound that we have. So there are at least 3 senses involved versus just one visual. So libraries and books.
Wonderful message. Archana?
I remember what you said. Initially, I always used to get more books on different subjects. If I'm doing something with Indian architecture or the Mughal architecture, I'll try and look for books in library and areas, and where I get a beautiful data, and that's the best way. And yeah, that's very important. And for people, younger generation, I will say you should believe in yourself. The mistake what I did initially is not believing myself. And I know now what I'm doing. If you're doing right, you are happy with it, and it's selfless, then that's the best way to live and do.
You should know your worth.
Yeah, it's only you who should know.
Right.
And that's the thing.
You also mentioned that you should not seek validation. I think that's also very important.
It's very important, because I think with the younger generation, they always look for validation. They did this and they want to post it, and how much likes they have, and that makes them. But I don't think it's right. You should know what you're doing and what you have done, and it's enough for you. It's enough. Nobody else can say it's enough or not.
Well, nothing revolutionary would have happened if people seek validation.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Anand, your message.
About doubts, I would tell every young person not to doubt others, because that's what they do. They doubt others, whoever is telling what I was telling, but to doubt yourself, to bring out good in you, to bring out, to push your boundaries. I mean, to do something which is fearless. And yes, talking about internet, yes, I remember taking photographs. Now we take random photographs. Otherwise, there used to be a role where you used to select and take a picture. So yeah, be selective. I mean, getting onto internet will not solve, but definitely doubt yourself for a betterment of yourself. Definitely.
Thank you so much for that reflective discussion. Design isn't always born out of certainty. It could be carved through challenge. And friction isn't always a flaw. It could be a fire that tempers better work. With that, it's a wrap on this presentation of M-Connect, celebrating architectural excellence and innovation. I'm Ambika Sharma. Thank you so much for watching.
Forbes India presents M-Connect, powered by Marmo Solution.